Cousins Teresa and Jessica, along with Jessica's boyfriend, went on a vacation to a lakeside cabin. Since their arrival, Jessica hadn't been feeling well, so Teresa decided to check on her. Sitting by Jessica's bedside, Teresa began reading her book to pass the time. Jessica sat up, and in a strange, eerie voice, she began narrating the exact words Teresa was reading. Terrified, Teresa begged her to stop. Suddenly, Jessica lost consciousness. Teresa rushed to her aid, but Jessica abruptly grabbed her hair with such force that it tore her scalp. Screaming for help, Teresa ran to Caleb, her face pale and smeared with blood. Horrified by her appearance, Jessica suddenly emerged from the shadows. Without warning, she grabbed the drone, slashed herself with its spinning blades, and collapsed into the water. Panicked, Caleb dove in to save her, unaware of the peril awaiting him. Moments later, his severed head was hurled back onto the deck. Rising from the water, Jessica levitated, her eyes glowing with a sinister light, fully possessed by the devil. Beth, a guitar technician struggling to come to terms with her unexpected pregnancy, went to her sister Ellie for support. A tattoo artist and single mom, lived in the old rundown Mond apartments in Los Angeles. She shared the small space with her 3 kids, teenagers Danny and Bridget, and little Cassie. Life in the crumbling building was anything but easy, with Ellie juggling her work, family, and the challenges of daily survival. After picking up pizza for dinner, the building suddenly shook from an earthquake. Down in the basement parking lot, where the kids had gone, the ground split open, and when the dust settled, a hidden chamber was revealed, its dark entrance sparking both curiosity and fear. Danny ventures into the hidden chamber, uncovering dusty religious artifacts, 3 phonograph records from 1923, and a sinister-looking book bound in aged, leathery material. Drawn by curiosity and the hope of selling it to help his struggling mother, he takes the book back to his room. As Danny examines the strange book, noticing it's sealed shut with a clasp that looks like it's made of sharp, teeth-like material. As he tries to force it open, his hand slips and he accidentally cuts himself. A drop of blood falls onto the book's cover and is instantly absorbed into its surface. With a chilling creak, the clasp unlocks on its own, and the book slowly opens, revealing its sinister contents. As he plays the first record, a priest's trembling voice fills the air, recounting forbidden attempts to study the book. It is revealed to be one of 3 cursed volumes of the Naturom de Monto, a text shrouded in darkness and terror. Danny played another vinyl record, originally meant as an archival reading of the spell. However, as the record spun and the eerie words filled the air, something went terribly wrong. The chant unintentionally summoned a Kandarian demon. The building's power went out, leaving everything in darkness. In the silence, the entity found Ellie alone in the elevator. It tormented her until it finally took over her body. When she returned to her family, it wasn't really Ellie anymore. It was the demon. With a frightening and twisted demeanor, she began to threaten her family. For a brief moment, Ellie managed to fight back and regain control. Before the demon fully took over, she begged Beth to protect her kids, her final words a desperate plea amidst the terror. With the help of the neighbors, Ellie was laid to rest in her bedroom. Beth stood by her side, saying a tearful final goodbye to her sister. But just as she began to step away, she froze in shock. Ellie's eyes suddenly opened, despite being unmistakably lifeless moments before. Panic set in as Beth touched her sister and realized her body was burning hot. Desperate to cool her down, she called Danny for help, and together they carefully moved Ellie to the bathroom, placing her in a tub filled with cold water. As Beth and Danny tried to calm her, Ellie convulsed violently and rose into the air. Twisting unnaturally, she clung to the ceiling with a sinister grin before unleashing a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the walls, chilling the neighbors outside. Ellie lunged at Beth, slashing her arm with a jagged piece of glass. Blood dripped to the floor as Beth stumbled back in shock. Bridget stepped forward, pleading desperately for her mother to stop. But Ellie's twisted grin only widened as she turned her attention to Bridget. Grabbing a tattoo machine, she forced it against Bridget's skin, carving deep, agonizing wounds. Bridget screamed in pain as Danny rushed to intervene. Hearing the commotion, the neighbors rushed over to see what was happening. Before they could react, Ellie leaped at one of them with terrifying speed, savagely tearing into his face and ripping out his eyes. Beth, paralyzed with fear, snapped into action and slammed the door shut, locking Ellie outside the apartment. From behind the door, she could only listen in dread as the hallway filled with screams and chaos, the sound of Ellie hunting down and slaughtering the neighbors. Danny admitted to Beth that he had recovered the Naturam Demonto. Meanwhile, Ellie deceived Kassie into unlocking the door and seized her. Danny and Beth rushed to save Kassie, managing to pull her free and lock Ellie outside. In the next room, Bridget succumbed to the possession through the wound Ellie had inflicted. Consumed by the demon, she attacked Beth, then turned on Danny and Kassie. In the struggle, Kassie accidentally impaled Bridget through the head with a broken broom handle. They tied Bridget's body in the other room, and Beth decided to listen to the third record to learn how to exorcise the Deadites. However, she discovers that the priest failed. His allies were all possessed, and only the complete destruction of the host can stop the Deadites. Meanwhile, Bridget reanimates and fatally stabs Danny. Despite his injuries, Danny fights back and sets Bridget on fire. Tragically, he later dies from his wounds. Ellie infiltrates the apartment through the vents and attacks Beth, pinning her down. Realizing that Beth is pregnant, Ellie attempts to rip the fetus from her. In a desperate struggle, Beth and Kassie manage to incapacitate Ellie with scissors. Desperate to escape, the two grab the neighbor's shotgun and rush to unlock the door. Suddenly, Ellie came back to life, attempting to emotionally manipulate Kassie. Despite the temptation, Kassie bravely accepted that her mother was truly gone. Beth fired at Ellie, but the shot failed to kill her. In a horrifying twist, one of the neighbor's corpses grabbed Beth's leg, and all the dead bodies transformed into Deadites. While inside the elevator, it began to fill with blood, heightening the horror. Ellie, Bridget, and Danny merged into a multi-limbed creature known as the Marauder and climbed atop the elevator to attack the pair. The combined weight caused the elevator to plummet to the ground floor, giving Beth and Kassie a chance to escape into the parking lot. They quickly get into the car to escape, but the wheels get stuck, and the Marauder soon catches up to them. They try to hide, but the creature finds Kassie, grabs her, and attempts to behead her with a chainsaw. Fortunately, Beth returns just in time to distract it. It turns its attention to Beth, dragging her toward a wood chipper. This time, Kassie intervenes, saving Beth by turning off the machine. Seizing the moment, Beth forces the creature back toward the roaring wood chipper, its blades spinning like harbingers of death. Piece by piece, the creature is shredded, with Ellie's severed head continuing to taunt Beth, mocking her about being a failure as a mother. Enraged, Beth kicks Ellie's head into the chipper, silencing it for good. Bloodied but alive, Beth and Kassie emerge from the nightmare, escaping the building as the first light of dawn breaks through the darkness. If you loved this recap, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss out on more free movie recaps. Got a movie in mind that you want us to break down? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.